Hey, this is WebJourney 1977 here, back in the Oasis once again, of course. It's been a little while since I did a live stream. For some reason, my freaking phone app didn't want to work, but come to find out, it was just me. So, who would have thought? Really good at technology in general, but for some reason, once in a while, something just slips past me. So. With that in mind, I do have it figured out now, like I thought last time after I was done with the stream. That's usually the way it works. After I was done with trying to figure it out last time and decided it was a little too late to start one now, kind of thing, and I'm like, yeah, I know what I did wrong. But anyway. Let me send out a few messages here. Hopefully get there we go. Send out a few Alright, I'm going to plug my controller in, as usual, so it doesn't die on me. Well, it's not that it'll die on me. I don't do streams long enough for a PlayStation 4 controller to die on you. But within like an hour or so, it'll time out. And once it times out, then it screws up everything I did on the phone app for some strange reason. I'm not sure why. But knowing that, I prevent it from by doing that. Hey, what's up, brother? How's it doing? How's it going? Glad you could stop in. Sharing the live chat. Got me a cherry Coca-Cola. They changed the cans on these. They're pretty neat. Like a two-tone. Kind of reminiscent of anyone that remembers like the old two-tone pickup trucks back in the day. How they had like a dark and a light part to them. Hi here. Blah. But yeah, like I was saying before, after I failed at doing a live stream last weekend and instead did that little video, once it was already too freaking late to do a live stream, then I realized what I did wrong. So it's the only downside to having a beard is getting crap stuck in your beard. Nasty. Pretty sure last week there was a squirrel living in there, but I gave him an eviction notice, so Now I just got something sticky in there. Don't know if I want to know what that was, but what this is, but yeah, that's the only bad thing is getting crap stuck in there. Pain in the ass. But yeah, anyway, don't really think I have anything new to show per se, but want to come on and do a little live discussion, a little live chat, if you will. It's been a little while, so like I said, I didn't get it last week, so want to come back on and see if my predictions were right on what I did wrong last time, and turns out it is. But yeah, so thankfully I was right. Mark out on the calendar that I was right. It's a momentous occasion. But anyway, still just trying to think of there may be something. I don't think there is, but there may be something I can show that I don't think there is, though, because the newest thing I got were those speakers, the Sharp speakers. I got cut on them the other day. That's why I know the Sharp. Nah, the Sharp, the Sharp speakers. They actually sound pretty good. I do have news on some stuff, on a little story that got me twice already. Well, this is the second time now, or third time maybe. I think third time. Well, I got the speakers from a Goodwill. I got them for $10 for both of them, which is well worth it, definitely. But then the right side stopped working. I thought maybe the speaker was already screwed up. I'm like, really? So I listened to my other speaker, not this one up here. This one up here is left side, but the one opposite on the right side, for all you smart people, right, is the opposite of left. Or for all you dumb people, I guess, right? The smart people already know that. But anyway, it wasn't working either. So then I was like, well, something's going on here. So I checked the wiring. Wiring is up to par. So then I found out that it's the freaking RCA jacks in the back of my receiver. So this has been like the third receiver, I think. I think I'm counting correctly. This has been the third Sony receiver now, mind you. Not some generic piece of crap. Sony receivers. This has been the third Sony receiver that I have gotten that the right sides have gone out of stuff. Now, granted, this is a little different story because the other two I had, the speakers themselves, the outputs for the speakers themselves went out, whereas this receiver, it's all the RCA jacks, all the RCA inputs have went out, and I don't understand, except for one, like where you plug the CD component in, is the only one that didn't go out. So I don't know what in the world is going on with. I haven't had, and not that I believe in good luck, bad luck. Anybody that knows me knows I don't believe in luck, whether it's good or bad. But just as an expression, I haven't had any luck with receivers. I'm pretty sure that, at least 99.9% sure, which is basically 100 for all you mathematicians out there, that I'm not buying a Sony receiver next time. I'm probably going to be getting anything but a Sony receiver. Sony has been nothing but good to me. PlayStations, stereos for my cars. I've never had a problem with Sony, but for some reason, home receivers, just haven't had good experience with them. Hey, what's up, Nuggets? Appreciate you stopping in. I've been doing good. I hope you've been the same. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with something other than a Sony receiver this time, and see what happens. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure. Well, one of them, the first Sony receiver that I ever bought, was brand new when I bought it. The other two was used already, so that's good to hear. I definitely appreciate you stopping in. It's good to hear you're doing good though, for sure. But I just don't understand. Oh yeah, he's pretty cool. This is the more kid friendly, if you will. When we go on charity events, I haven't one-on-one for a while. We're going to start up again, hopefully, in the very near future. I got myself another suit. I don't know if you know Nuggets, that I belong to a Ghostbusters group, the Retro Gaming Ghostbusters, and we've done a lot of charity stuff, giving presents out for kids at Christmas, and giving gift cards to the families at Walmart and Target and places like that. But we haven't done it for a while. Ever since COVID hit, we haven't done any for a while. This is actually our logo right here. This is kind of an old rendition of our logo. Our new one actually has headphones around his neck and a Walkman down here at the bottom. But definitely like this logo as well. But anyway, told you that story to tell you this story. This is a more, if you will, kid-friendly version of Slimer. The other one's up here. Not sure how easy it is to get him down, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be too easy to get him down at the moment, but I can kind of show you. I might move the TV around. The one hanging from the wall, it's a more of a screen accurate Slimer. And he's a little more scary. And he also has an ass. So, yeah, like I said, more kid friendly. the other one doesn't have that. So, all right. So, let me catch up with the. You pick up any of the new? No, I haven't picked up any items for a while. I did get the 2 in the box. I did back the 2 in the box project, though, the PK meter and Ghost Trap. I will be getting that. I did back that. Yeah, that Slimer is epic. Yeah. A buddy of mine, Transam38, he has a Slimer like that was actually signed by Dan Aykroyd, which is awesome. I have a couple items signed by can't speak. I have a couple items signed by Dan Aykroyd as well. Hey, how you doing, Showtime? Appreciate it. Yeah, it's quite a few years of collecting. You can't see a lot of the stuff on that wall. If you'd like me to show you the stuff on that wall, Showtime, let me know, and I'll show you what's on this wall. You know, in front of me, because you can't see all of that. There's a lot more stuff that you can't see with. This is just basically all the retro gaming stuff, and I mean, there's more retro gaming stuff over there, but this is the majority of the retro gaming stuff behind me. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping in. For anybody that doesn't know, which I'm pretty sure Showtime might be new here, 700 subscribers, gonna be doing another giveaway. The only thing that you need to do to participate is to be subscribed. That's it. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Got the new Hasbro Proton Pack. I guess it's not so new anymore, but it's the newest. It's not the newest, I guess, because I guess Spirit Halloween came out with a new one, but what's that? No, I didn't get 700 yet. At 700, I will be doing a giveaway. I'm not quite sure what it is right now. Actually, let me see. It's at 616 right now, so got quite a while to go on that. So, but yeah, at 700 I'll be doing the giveaway. So I do have more than Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, though. This whole row right here is Transformers, old and new. Mostly old. And then the top has like a variety of different things. Oh, cool. Definitely. I don't think I have any of that stuff, but I definitely love that stuff as well. Don't really have the space to collect too much more than what I've already have. I want to get a bigger space eventually, but that's awesome. Hell yeah. Nothing wrong with that, that's for sure. But anyway, showtime. Do you want me to show you I'll show you the rest of the room here that you can't see. Nuggets, I don't know if you've seen a recent game room tour. I did do a game room tour not long ago here, a week ago or so, maybe a week and a half ago now. I don't know, time just seems to go by so fast anymore. I'll do a bit of Blair Witch Project here for a second. Alright, so this is the this is the stuff you obviously always see. Of course. But then we got, some stuff over here as well. That's the Ultra Magnus shelf, which I need to move stuff off of so that you can see that it's Ultra Magnus. There we go. And then got the original Millennium Falcon there, 100% complete. The only reason for that, Crystal Head vodka. I don't drink, but Dan Aykroyd just happens to be at least partial owner, if not complete owner, of Crystal Head vodka. Bought that at a convention, at a fine wine and spirits he was at, and he signed it for me. And then Technodrone's down there. Of course, my modified Hasbro Proton Pack is here. And then got some various books, strategy guides, a modded Xbox 360. This is one of the two speakers I was saying about that I just bought for $10 for both of them. Can't beat that. Okay, let me catch up on the chat here. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Those first. Yeah, a lot of them are first generation Transformers. A lot of them are. Some of them are, newer stuff, but. And then got some more stuff up here. Of course. This is my big shelf up here. Fireball Island board game. Don't know if anybody remembers that, but it's 100% complete as well. It's worth about $250 to $300 right now. It's pretty crazy. Got Fortress Maximus up there, the Transformer Fortress Maximus, and Triptychon up there. Thanks, brother, appreciate it. And then got the, can't really go any further with the camera. Wait a minute. We can go a little further. There we go. Got the Ghostbusters Transformer, yeah, Ghostbusters Wrestlers up there. God of War 3 figure. Got my mask collection here, if you know what mask is. And then I got some more newer turtle stuff here. And then got the can't really see them that well, but this is the glow in the dark set of Ghostbusters, the slimed versions of them. Over here I got some various, the smaller versions of the consoles here, of the Genesis and Super Nintendo. Got the top loader NES there. And then down here, got my receiver that I'm gonna have to replace yet again. It's still working, but you know, only on one freaking RCA jacks. Got my gold Xbox. That's the modded one that has a bunch of games on it. Awesome, hell yeah, I love those glow in the dark ones for sure. Then there's the other speaker over there, of course, and the old CRT Sony Trinitron over there for the old game consoles. Got my Spirit Halloween pack over there, modded. And my GameCube lamp over there. Then I got some wrestling belts and some swords. My swords on a gun rack. Then I got some of the old Kenner. They're not old. They're the reissues of the Ghostbusters. Real Ghostbusters. Then I got my bigger TV over there, PS5, and my gaming computer. And then various other stuff. And then the also, what was I wanting to show? I was wanting to show you something over here as well, but what the heck was it? Oh, the other you might not be able to see it, but back in there is the Fearsome Flush and the Bug-Eyed Ghost from that collection as well. So yeah, there's, I don't know if I showed the top shelf there, but there's various stuff up on that top shelf. There's some Ghostbusters, some DC Comics, some Marvel, Star Wars, Legend of Zelda, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Quite a bit of different genres up there. So yeah, there's quite a bit to look at, for sure. So yeah, quite a bit of stuff to look at in here. That's for sure. So yeah. Hell yeah, that's pretty awesome. I can show you some of the swords that I have if you want me to. I got various ones. It'll take me a second to take the crap off of there so I can take them down without 1,000 things falling off of there, but I could definitely do it if you want to see the swords. The biggest one I have is actually right behind me in this crack between my Nintendo rack, my Nintendo shelves and the games. If you want to see that one first. That one's actually, believe it or not, well, maybe not the easiest one to get, but But yeah, this is a pretty hefty sword right here. Definitely a two-handed sword, for sure. If I put it down on the floor, I'm about 5'8", roughly. And, yeah. About 53 inches tall, something like that. So yeah, quite a hefty sword for sure. The blade isn't sharp. It's kind of just a show sword. It's not sharp at all. The thing I would worry about the most would be these spikes right here. These are freaking deadly if they would hit you. I don't even wouldn't even want to fathom what they do to your head if they hit. That's why I keep it back here where it can't fall and hit anyone. Yeah, I hear you. Definitely don't want to do that. But then, let's see. Let me take a few things off this rack here. Make it easier for crap not to fall over the place. I'll show you a few of my swords. This is I'm not sure if this is a katana or not, but it's a pretty long sword, but I'm not sure what the length of a katana needs to be exactly, but I don't know if this is a katana. I believe I at least have one katana, but I don't know if this one is considered a katana or not. But it's pretty nice. But we put it back in the sheath the right way this time, because last time apparently I didn't put it in there right. And then this one here I'm pretty sure is a katana. It's got like a dragon for a handle. Now I'm knocking over shit. Sorry, little mini puff. Try to get it all on screen here. There we go. This is the one that has the 440 stainless blade. So yeah, that one's pretty cool. And then this one here I have to fix the sheath on because all of the stuff has come unraveled, as you can see. I'm not sure what they call these little short blades, but this is one of the little shorter blades. I know there's a name for them. I think this is the shortest of the blade, and then I got another one that's the matching one for this, that's slightly small or slightly larger. Okay, so this one probably is a katana then. It's got a curve and it's a single edge. But I'm not sure what they call these little ones. But this is the smallest version, and I'll show you the slightly larger version of this. I don't have the katana version of this or the longest version of it. I don't know if it would have been a katana anyway, because it's not like a curved blade. I don't believe any of them were the curved blades, but let me take these out so don't so all this stuff doesn't fall when I kind of really need to reorganize this stuff anyway. But I'll show you these after the sword. Okay, so then this kind of gives you an idea of what that sheath would look like if I rewrapped it. This one doesn't and this one's a slightly longer blade than that last one. Again, I'm not sure what they call these. All of them have a name, of course. This would have came in a set of 3, the other one being the smallest one, and then one being longer than this one. But I can't remember. I used to know at one point what the heck they were called, but I can't remember anymore. It's been so long since I really looked that stuff up. Alright, and the next one is supposed to be like a small replica of Excalibur. Again, this one isn't sharp. It doesn't have a sharp edge. This one could potentially be sharpened, but well, so could that big one. But I would never do it just because it's dangerous enough with those spikes. But yeah, this is supposed to be a version of Excalibur. It's like a small version of Excalibur. And then I'm sure the next one a lot of you will recognize. Okay. Yep, that's what it would be. I knew somebody might probably know. This is the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. Pretty awesome. This isn't the best version of it, because anybody that knows Legend of Zelda and the Master Sword, the blade is different. It's not a straight blade like it. I mean, it's a straight blade, but the actual Master Sword would have like a step up in the blade somewhere, and then a step back down. So it would have a wider portion in one part of the blade. But this was the cheaper one. I think this one was $80 or at least $80, I believe. The other one was over $100, which is why I bought this one. All right, and then get this crap out of here. This one here, the sheath is all right, but the wrapping on the handle itself took a crap. So I believe this one's a lot like that other one was, but not exactly like that other one was. But yeah, you got that right. So there's that one. Then the last sword I have is a pretty large sword too, but it's not as large as the other one. Is that one back there? They call that one back there that I have back there the Demon Chaser. That's just what I wouldn't chase no demon with a sword. I don't think it would do much good, but what do I know? But this one's pretty cool. It has almost a serrated sort of edge on the blade, portion of the blade, and this blade actually is somewhat sharp. It's not really sharp, but it could definitely cut you if you wasn't paying enough attention. But and all this stuff is like snakes, woven snakes, basically is what that is. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, these swords are over, many years of collecting. So I follow you on that. And a few of them were gifts, So some of them I didn't even pay for. So yeah, they're expensive. I mean, it doesn't matter what shape or size they are. They're expensive. That's for sure. And then, these aren't swords, but I got a couple sets of these as well. Got a couple sets of these as well. Freaking size. This is just a normal, just a silver pair. Just the smallest Japanese blade. tan too. Yeah, okay. So that's probably what that one is, because it's almost a dagger size. And then I also got a set of black size, which are pretty neat. So yeah, these aren't sharp or anything like that. I do think that there's some size that are sharpened, but these aren't sharpened, and they don't have points on them. They're just like practice size, basically. If I remember correctly, size we're not really, at least this type of size was not really used for killing. It was used for disarming somebody with a sword, more than anything. But I don't know a whole lot about them. But yeah, that's the other set of size I have. So, and then on the other thing, it's not metal, but well, I mean, I guess the chain's metal, but I don't think I can get it down from there. But it's not going to let me take it off of here. But I have a pair of nunchucks here. You can see the end of them. I have a pair of nunchucks hanging there, but yeah, like I said, that's over a few years of collecting, so I mean, I certainly understand people that only have, you know, one or two swords, because like I said, it don't matter the shape or size of them, they can all be quite expensive. I'm basically done with collecting swords, but yeah, generally, yep, for defense, yep, that's about, basically, it wasn't meant for necessarily killing someone, but just defending against someone with a sword, basically, or, you know, any weapon for that matter. But bear with me here. I'm going to put all this crap back away. But yeah, that's my sword collection. Don't know if I ever actually showed my entire sword collection on. I'm sure I have. I'm sure, you know, with multiple live streams or videos that I've put up over the years, I'll probably show all of the ones I have, but it's been so long that it was worth getting them out to show you, especially people that are interested in this kind of stuff. Yeah, and people were quite confused when because this is my father's old gun rack and he didn't need it anymore. So I'm like, I'll take it. And people were like, well, what the? They didn't say nothing, but you could tell they were thinking like, you don't own any guns. What do you need a gun rack for? Put swords on. Works perfectly. I mean, get all the stuff hung back up here real fast. Then I'll get caught back up with chat. All right. So yeah, if I, let me see. Okay, I took a picture of that so I remember. But yeah, if I come across like a decent looking medieval sword with a decent size, I would probably buy it. But for the most part, I'm done buying swords. Mainly due to the space I have to put them. But like I said, if I found that's really the only thing that I would like to get is like a decent medieval sword, like, if that makes any sense. I don't really know how to really say it any better than that. If anybody watched, any kind of like a medieval movie or show, like Game of Thrones or something, like a sword you would see on Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or something like that. If I found something like that, I would definitely buy it for the right price. But that's about it. I actually went to uh, like a flea market, not a flea market, but like a Goodwill kind of thrift store type of store. And so like a full size Excalibur there, but someone already had it in their hand and was buying it. I'm like, and they sold for like $20. I'm like, jeez, I collect. Yeah, I hear you there. The weirder the better, really. I mean, even if it's not worth anything, it's worth something to you. You know what I mean? It's worth it, even for a conversation piece. You know, if someone comes into your game room and points at something, like, what in the world is that thing? You know, it's just, it might not be worth a lot of money, but maybe it's old, or maybe it's just interesting looking. Long sword is around 6 foot. That would be awesome. I don't know if I want a long sword per se. I mean, if I saw a long sword, I would probably buy one. But I'm thinking more along the lines of like a sword they would have used with a shield. A shield would be awesome as well, actually. An old shield and sword would be awesome. I would love to display something like that in here if I could find a room. I would make a room to display it. But for instance, I got a for instance for you for something that somebody that wouldn't be worth a lot of money, but is in this case is old, and it's a conversation piece. I didn't buy it. My mom gave it to me years ago. God rest her soul. It's worth more to me now than it ever has been. Now that she's passed, but wow, that would be crazy. But yeah, it's back here. Ooh. I don't fall on my ass getting back here. Something that I can remember from when I was a kid, you know what I mean? And it just always been there, you know what I mean? And she ended up giving it to me. And it is something simple. It's an old freaking, don't know if it's worth anything. Don't care if it's worth anything because I'm not going to sell it. But it's an old cast iron, I'm assuming. Feels like it's cast iron. I don't know. I'm not a metal professional or anything, but an old horse and buggy. It says U.S. mail on it. Awesome. Sounds like you're the person I need to talk to then. If you ever come across anything, I don't know how you would get a hold of me, but I have a Facebook. If you have Facebook, I can tell you my Facebook and you can add me. If you ever find anything cool, ever get anything in your collection I could buy, that'd be awesome. You might be thinking Claymores. Yeah, Claymores were pretty massive, yeah. But yeah, that's just a simple little horse and buggy metal. I don't know if this was a toy or if it was, I don't know, just meant for a conversation piece, but something simple that most people would look at and probably walk by. But my mom gave it to me years ago, and sentimental to me. Doesn't matter to me if it's worth anything. I mean, obviously it's worth something, but what's that? You might be right. Show, I'll look. But yeah, pretty cool. You can see straight through the back. It doesn't have any details or anything. But I mean, it's pretty heavy. It's a couple pounds worth of metal. But I think I'm gonna put that all the way back. I'm just gonna set it here. But yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking of, something, something probably about the length of the Master Sword I have, but a medieval, awesome looking, doesn't even have to be that awesome looking, just kind of a medieval type of sword that, with a cool looking blade on it or whatever. I never researched blades, but I did. But yeah, it's... First and second edition. What do you mean first and second edition? Of what? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean it's been a good many years. I mean, some people are it's a little misconception of how many years it took me to collect all this. It really wasn't that many years. I mean, it was quite a few years, but like I don't think any of this stuff I had as a kid. Like I had this stuff, but not the exact stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it burned up in a fire years ago, but I still got books. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh. But yeah, but I mean, it's still been 20 years at least, or more, probably more than 20 years, but it's been a lot. It's been a good many years collecting this stuff. So I actually got a couple consoles you haven't seen. I got Intellivision and ColecoVision on that side. It's underneath some stuff, and an old Odyssey 2000 or something, I think it's called. Yeah, that's for sure. Unless you're rich or something, and you just go out and just buy up someone else's collection. Just offer them way more than it's worth just to get a collection. That's about the only other way to do it. That's about the only way to do it quick, if you got a ton of money, which I clearly don't, but I do all right, but definitely not rich by any means. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Or if like they discontinue some stuff and then make it more expensive, or jackasses sell it for whatever they want, try to sell for whatever they want on eBay, buy up all the PlayStation 4s or recently PlayStation 5s, and sell them for 3 or 4 times what they're actually selling for, and idiots buy them, It never ends with that kind of stuff. I understand you got to make money. I really do. Like, I understand if you buy, 2 or 3 PlayStation 5s and you go to sell them, you got to make a profit on them. Otherwise, it's not worth doing. But 2 or 3 times or 4 times what you paid for it, that's ridiculous. Like, it's totally ridiculous. I could see making a couple $100 off of it, but to, you know, to do that just to take advantage of somebody that can't get one because you bought them all, or, you know, you and 10 other people bought them all, it's ridiculous. Like, I've heard they actually have I've heard that they even have like apps on your phone or something you can put on your phone. You can link your credit card to and link them to certain websites and stuff that, like, say, you know, something rare like they come back in stock of something, it will automatically know. This app will automatically know that and just go ahead and charge them to your credit card without you even having to do anything. So you don't even have to do the transaction. It doesn't give anyone that doesn't do this process any chance of ever getting their hands on one. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I understand making a profit. I do. Because everybody's got to do that. I mean, everybody's got to make a profit. If you don't make a profit, then you don't even need to do it because you're just going to starve to death. You can't break even, or you're not going to make any money. I understand that. Like, everyone does it. Every place in the world does it. You know what I mean? You buy a pack of crackers for $1. That seems cheap, but it probably costs 20 cents to make that pack of crackers. You know, so I mean, but and that has to be. I mean, it has to happen because, you know, companies got to stay in business. But when they're making so much off of that, so much further than that, like, it just gets ridiculous. Like, it's just beyond ridiculous. Prices like, yeah, exactly, definitely crazy. Just stupid prices, like, and this stuff here. You look some of this stuff up, it's only went up in price. Like, it's crazy how much they charge for crap. Like, the original Nintendo, there's people that want $300 or $400 for original Nintendo with a couple games and controller. It's not worth that. Like, it never will be worth that. If it was in an original box with everything, I can see. But loose like this, I went to Cartridges Galore. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. They're here in Pennsylvania and Maryland. I'm not sure how many states they're in exactly. I know they're in Pennsylvania, Maryland now. And they have good prices. I got that Nintendo. Didn't get a game, but I had already had games. But at least I don't think I got a game. I can't remember if I got a game with it or not. But I got a controller, at least one controller, and the stuff to hook it up with, and the console for $50. Like, I think that's a damn good buy, and it's nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not discolored or nothing. It doesn't have a chip or crack in the case or nothing. And I think that's a decent price, definitely. But look at DK Oldies. Look what they want for a Nintendo. They probably want $200, $300 for a Nintendo, original Nintendo. Like, no, like, you get $300, you can go buy a damn Nintendo Switch brand new. Like, why would you buy a Nintendo for that? Like, everything has value depending how much people. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it might not be worth hardly anything, but if someone's willing to pay that, then it may as well be worth that. You know, it's all depends on what somebody wants to pay for it. Yeah, I mean, it's only worth what someone wants to pay for it. Definitely, but it's seems like it's getting harder and harder to do collections like this, just because people people buy the stuff up and just try to get enough to buy a damn car with them. Like, it's ridiculous. And they're not worth it. I mean, they're really not. I mean, I value my collection. I really do. But to try to take advantage of somebody, it's not right. You know? It really isn't. I don't understand how people can sleep at night taking advantage of people like that. It just makes no sense to me at all. But someone wants to give you. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. So many people were in it for themselves and be damned anyone else. You know what I mean? And I understand. You know, like I said, not only do I understand. You know, you gotta make money. I mean, that's the way it works. You know. I also understand. You know, you might want to. You know, you might be making that money for good reasons. You might be trying to support your family, and I respect that. But at the same time, you can still make money and not take advantage of people. I mean, there's still a way to do that, you know. And some people just don't care. They really don't. They just, like, another thing, for instance, it's like all these different they're doing it again with the new Ghostbusters movie, and they're bringing out these like popcorn bucket things. Are they really worth anything? Not really. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're not worth that much. You know what I mean? It's probably $5 worth of plastic. You know what I mean? But you know, people are going to do it again. They've been doing it for how long now? They'll go to the theater, take their buddies with them as soon as they can, and scarf up all these popcorn bucket things, and because they only have so many of them at each store, and then flip them for 3 or 4 times what they paid for them on eBay. You know it's going to happen. I mean, and someone's going to buy them, and I don't know why, because they're not. Someone could buy one for $300, and they might be 25 years old, and by the time they're old enough to retire, it still won't be worth $300. You know, like, it just amazes me, you know. But I mean, if you're willing to spend that much money, and you can afford to spend that much money, and it's your money, then go for it. You know what I mean? If that's what makes you happy, that's fine. But I don't know. Just on the other side of things, people trying to take advantage of people that, oh, then they can't get this because I've bought them, or, you know, in my area, go to a Walmart or Target and just buy. They've kind of put a stop to that. You can only get so many, but there's ways around that stuff. You know what I mean? They can say, hey, you know, ask Tom, hey, you can go get a couple, and then Fred, you can go get a couple, and Bill, you can go get a couple, you know, and then pretty soon, you know, that person has them all, and hey, I'm going to charge $300 for it on eBay, even though I paid $5 for it, $20 for it. Hey, Christoph, what's up, brother? Appreciate you stopping in. Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you stopping in as well. But yeah, we're just talking about how lovely scalpers on eBay are. But yeah. For anybody just tuning in, here a couple minutes ago, I showed all my entire sword collection. So after this video's been uploaded, or after this video's done and been uploaded, you can always go back and watch the first, I don't know. It's already been an hour, which is crazy. It doesn't seem like it's been an hour, but apparently it has. But yeah, good seeing you too, brother, for sure. Hope all is well. eBay, yeah. Yet there's so many crazy shit on eBay that people want. I got a good story for you. Matter of fact, it's right over here. Is what the story's about, anyway. Obviously, I wasn't dumb enough to buy what I'm about to say. But, okay, so here's the topic of discussion right here, okay? And it's going to blow your freaking mind, I can guarantee you. Okay, so, everybody knows this is your computer's from eBay. This is the Wii U, you know what I mean, the screen controller, you know, the controller. I'm flip it around here, genius, right? So yeah, this is the controller. Cheaper. Yeah, it is pretty much, yeah. I actually built a computer for my son for $100 from a place it's about 45 minutes from my house. And I don't know why I'm looking down there instead of looking up there, but about 45 minutes from my house. I don't know if I ever told this story, but it's nothing. I mean, it's not like, you know, gonna play some big game or something, but it's a Dell computer. It's a little older computer, DVI output, which you know, it's got a monitor for DVI, which is high definition. It's just what came out right before HDMI, and it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 terabyte hard drive for $100. Well, the tower and the monitor, he already had keyboard and mouse, but I thought that was pretty damn good. But anyway, Wii U gamepad. I don't know if anybody's heard of the story or not, but before this was released, they actually announced like the dimensions of what this was going to be like, right? So some moron, well, I mean, I guess the moron would be the people buying it, but more so anyway, literally got a cereal box, a Fruit Loop box to be exact, the one I saw, the one he advertised. Got a Fruit Loop box, and with the same dimensions as this, drew with ink pen. It wasn't even that good looking. Drew with ink pen. I'm not making this up. This exact controller, what it looks like in that exact shape. Maybe not exact, but close enough, right? And was selling them on eBay for a butt ton of money. And it was like, oh, you can get a feel for the controller. How do you get a feel for the controller when this is clearly three-dimensional and it's a controller? And the other one was a freaking piece of cardboard. Everybody knows how thick a cereal box is. Not very thick, right? So there was actually 2 or 3 that I know of at least that eBay actually shut down because they got to like 2 or 3 grand, right? And I wish I was making this up. I wish I could say that there wasn't anybody that stupid, but unfortunately I can't. eBay, how bad does it have to get for eBay to shut it down? Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty bad. And it was a piece of freaking cardboard. Not to mention, you know, oh, I'm going to spend $2,000 on this piece of cardboard. And then when the Wii U comes out, I'm still buying it for $300, whatever it was. I'm like, I'm glad to see I'm not the dumbest person in the world, because clearly I'm not. Like, I thought it was a joke when I first saw it, but it wasn't. It was not a joke. And, I mean, even though the person that put this up for sale was a complete dumbass, they wasn't doing anything illegal. They clearly marked what it was. You could clearly see what it was. They even showed the back of it, and it was a Fruit Loop box. I guess that's the front of the box, but you know what I'm saying. And people were still buying them. So, I mean, I don't know. If you got that much money to spend that kind of money on a piece of cereal box, I mean, all you got to do is figure out the dimensions yourself, and you could probably do just as good a job as this guy did to draw it, maybe more so, and do it yourself for what, $3 for a box of cereal and maybe another $1 for an ink pen. I mean, and there you go. Oh, hey, Sandy. Hey, babe, how you doing? But people are stupid. It's just, I can't believe that they're that stupid. But yeah, they're not necessarily stupid. They just do stupid things. Let's put it that way. And that story is like too crazy to even make up. Like, I wish I was making it up. Another person sold an Xbox for $300. And when I say Xbox, I mean literally an X box. Literally a white box with a green magic marker with marked an X on the box. Sold it for $300. Didn't do anything wrong. Wasn't illegal. Showed the inside of the box to be empty. Showed the box. Literally a white box with a green X markered on it or painted on it or whatever it was. Some woman bought it for her kid. Hey, he likes Xbox. He was asking for one. It was literally an X box. She bought it for $300. Like, do your research, lady. No. In no time in history has Xbox ever released a white box with a green X painted on it. With a green X on it. That hasn't happened. It's not called X. It's called Xbox. Right? It would have a green Xbox written on it, not just X. But if you're dumb, you're dumb. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm up to no good usually, but you already know that. But I'd rather be. Yeah, I hear you there. I don't blame you on that one for sure. But yeah, we basically showed my sword collection, which you've already seen, and now we're talking about people buying stuff and selling it for crazy prices. What's funny is there's actually a pay-per-view called In Your House too, or there was at one point anyway. But yeah, some of the stories you hear, you can go on eBay now and they're still doing the stuff. Like, they're still doing the same shit. Like, yeah, I wish I had that game. That was a pretty cool game. I think it was for PlayStation. Oh yeah, it was for PlayStation. Might have been for the Sega Saturn too. I don't know. Sega Saturn's what? It's around the same. Excuse me. It's around the same time. You have a Saturn. Yeah, I have a Saturn. Yep. 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 See if I can not break my neck back here. It's actually underneath the game or the Dreamcast here. Gotta dust these things. Dust these things off one of these days. Yep. Right there, brother. Sega! I always thought it was amazing The Sega Saturn figured it out. Now that I got it out, I got a story. The Sega Saturn figured it out pretty well. You open it up right here. You got your internal battery right here in the Sega Saturn. Very easy to get to. Come on, PlayStation, get with a program. The PlayStation 3, 4, 5, don't matter. You got to tear the damn thing apart. You got to disassemble half or more than half of the console to get to that battery. Why? Why? It's just an internal battery. Like, Sega Saturn has how much older than them? And right there's the battery. If you want to replace it, you just pop that little panel off. There it is. It's not soldered into the board. Just pop it out, pop another one in. Good to go. Yeah, exactly. Very underrated for sure. Just like the Dreamcast, yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Welcome in, Jonah. Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping in. Definitely, that's definitely worth some money right there for sure. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why they... I mean, I do understand. The technicians and stuff, they want to make money. But... they want to make money too. I get it. But they should make money. They can make money off repairs. They don't need to make money off of just a simple damn battery replacement. Like, come on now. Not to mention that battery means something. It can completely demobilize your console, the newer consoles especially. If that battery goes bad, you're fucked. You know, like. And then you got to tear your console apart, and if you tear your console apart, then you void your warranty on it. So then, if you don't do it right, because not only do you got to tear the console apart, they're soldered into the board nowadays. The PS3 isn't, that I know of. I replaced at least the second generation PS3, the slim model, not the super slim, but this. I've replaced a couple of those. Well, I can show you. Oh, this model right here, I've replaced a couple of these batteries. They're not too terrible to get into, but still you got to tear it apart. You got to tear the disk drive out, the power supply out of it, and at least the disk drive and the power supply out of it to get to it. I'm like, seriously? At least the SSD upgrade was not... Yeah, the SSD upgrade was it was easy enough, but I didn't buy to collect. I was given all the gifts. Oh, I see. Yeah, for sure. Yep, got it. But yeah, they're not terrible, but still, they're still a whole lot more complicated than it needs to be. Like, especially when you're looking at Sega Saturn and figuring it out how many years before that. Like, come on now. It just makes no sense. Like, and they do it with a lot of things too. It's not just game consoles. They do it with a lot of things nowadays. It just doesn't make any sense to making cars more complicated. That makes a little more sense because mechanics have to make money, and if you can fix your own car, then mechanics lose out on that money. So, I mean, that makes a little more sense, but Sega's bad marketing. I heard some, well, I mean, you're going to correct me on this, but maybe you're going to try to correct me on this, but Sega's Sega's not actually out of business. They are, but they're not. Like, they don't make consoles anymore, obviously, but they still produce games. Like, they still, you know what I mean, they still have parts in games, but they were talking about coming out with another console. Don't know if it'll ever happen again, if it'll actually happen, but they have been talking about it. If it does happen, it's probably going to be the same way the Atari did, and which is to fan fund it, just like they do a lot of things nowadays. But yeah, it definitely killed the consoles. You're right. I kind of knew where you're. I kind of already knew what you were talking about. But yeah, it definitely killed. It definitely destroyed them in consoles, and I don't like to see that. Like even if, and it was definitely a fact that when I was growing up, I liked Nintendo just a little bit better. Better marketing. The games that I liked, you know, that I was more interested in were for the Nintendo and not the Sega. But anybody with half a brain should realize that when a company goes out of business like that, is never a good thing. Whether it's a business that you lean toward or you don't lean toward, it's never a good idea. It's never a good thing, because you want more options. I mean, you just do. Any kind of person that considers himself a fanboy are sort of idiots. I mean, they're thinking like an idiot, at least, because, you know, if all the companies go out and there are only one or two left, especially if there's only one left, they'll get lazy as hell. Like, you need the competition, you know. I wish Sega would come with. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be good. I mean, like I said, they could always fan fund it. I mean, and I almost guarantee that if they fan funded the console, it would come to fruition. I can almost guarantee that. Like the Atari did. The Atari did that. The Atari VCS, and I would love to get one. A lot of people say that it's not that great, but they're selling them for pretty cheap nowadays compared to what they were. I think they were $300 new, but they were fan funded, and they totally got the fan fund for it. So I would guarantee if Sega did the same thing, they would definitely get the money. Yeah, they would. They would sell out from Fanboy, and then they would sell them on eBay for 5 times what they paid for them. I mean, that's just, you know, that would happen. I mean, it would have to. But some of it would have to be fan funded, though, I believe. And they could totally do that. I mean, if they wanted to, they could totally do it. And I can guarantee you they would get fan funded. Guaranteed. There's so many fan funded things nowadays that just, it's so easy for them to do, because they're not spending any money. They're not taking that risk. You're doing it. You know what I mean? The fans, as the fans, you're doing it. So, I mean, they would, especially if they named it Dreamcast 2. I've heard a lot of rumors about that. And as far as I know, they're just rumors, but I've heard a lot of rumors about a Dreamcast 2, a second version of the Dreamcast coming out. But I mean, there's so many things they could do with it. From a marketing standpoint, they could make it play the Dreamcast games, the original Dreamcast games, and Dreamcast 2 games. They would totally be able to do that. If they asked for fan funding, they would knock it out of the ballpark. I guarantee you. I could see that happening through some exclusives for the Sega. Exactly, yeah. Sega needs to do. Yeah, they do. They really do. They really need to bring something. They had the Neptune back in the day that they never come out with. They were thinking about doing it, but I think it was in between Sega Saturn and the Dreamcast. I believe. I could be wrong about that. They was going to come out with a Neptune, but they never did. They just decided not to do it. So, all right, babe. Appreciate you stopping in. Love you. I'll see you in a little while. If you're sleeping, I'll see you in the morning. But yeah, they would totally better get a fan funding for it. That's for sure. Was no problem at all. Like, if Atari could do it, you know. And Atari didn't go completely out of business. They were still doing games and stuff. Like, you would still see. I'm pretty sure I have a couple PlayStation games that say Atari on them. Like, now granted, this isn't really good. You know, really good game. But the Golden Axe Beast Riders, which people didn't really like all that well, I'm pretty sure it was partially Atari. I gotta do dishes too. But yeah, there's a lot of games you might not think of, that new games like for PlayStation and Xbox that Atari had a hand in. Atari came out with a new console. Yes, they did. It was called the Atari VCS. Is what it was called. It's all digital console. Kind of reminiscent of, hold on, the original console, but the black version of the console. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'll show you here. Kind of reminiscent of this dusty ass thing. Kind of reminiscent of this console right here. This is the old, they called it the Darth Vader edition. It's not really a Darth Vader edition. It's just a black console. As opposed to the wood grain one, like that one, and there's two of them. There's the bottom 6 switch down here and a 4 switch there. With the wood grain, doesn't have the wood grain. It's just all black. But it's kind of reminiscent of this console, but it doesn't have a cartridge slot. And also, they also came out with another version with a wood grain, like this one here, but it's a smaller size, and it actually takes the cartridges. And they're making new cartridges as well, so check that out. Can't remember how much that is, but they did make. I just thought of it after talking about the VCS. They did come out with another console that's actually more reminiscent. Matter of fact, an identical model of one of these, but smaller in comparison to it. But yeah, definitely look that up. And it takes and the new one takes the cartridges. It will play the old cartridges. I think ROMs. I think it just pulls them off as ROMs, if I remember correctly. Of course, you can see what game I have in there, right? But I think it just pulls it off as ROMs. But I mean, who cares? I mean, it's a console, and they're making new games for the Atari 2600. I know that sounds weird, but I don't think the new games would be playable in your old one. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they would be. Only in the new console. But yeah, definitely check that out. Yeah, definitely check it. I'm not sure what they call it, honestly, but I can look that up pretty easily here. I can look that up for you real easy. But yeah, I just thought of that one. That's why you talk to people, because you remember stuff like that. Let's see. New Atari console. It's also HDMI output, by the way. It's for modern televisions. Yeah, right here it is. It's called the Atari 2600 Plus. It's 120. It's 100. Let me dim the screen because this camera doesn't like dark or bright things. But yeah, it's called the Atari 2600. 129 bucks. It's the Atari 2600 Plus. And as you can see, it looks just like the original Atari, the 4-switch, like the one down here. This is the 4-switch. But yeah, it looks just, except for it's smaller in size. It's considerably smaller, but it does take the cartridge slot. It does have the cartridges, and it will play the old ones, and they come out with new ones, which is pretty cool. But yeah. What? No, that's been out for a while. Nah. I don't need that. I'm just saying. It's pretty cool. Well, this one, it comes with a cartridge. You won't be able to see it probably, but it comes with a cartridge. I don't know how well you can see it, but that cartridge right there, it comes with that one. And there's like I don't even know, a dozen games on it. There's like a dozen games on it. And on the back of it, there's pin selections that you can move in different positions. And like a combination lock, sort of. That you can move in certain sequences to play those certain games. Like it'll show a picture on there of what sequence they need to be on for that game, what sequence they need to be on for that game. And you just pull them little pins in spots to match and play all those different games. Pretty neat idea, I thought. But pretty sure it's just a ROM set kind of thing. Because that's what they do nowadays with all these consoles and stuff, but with a lot of them. But yeah, I'm glad you asked me about that, because yeah, they did have the Atari VCS. I'm pretty sure they stopped I know they stopped production on the Atari VCS. I'm pretty sure they stopped support altogether for it. They might still have online support. Pretty sure they still have online support for it, but they're not making anything new for it, as far as I know. But the Atari 2600 Plus does have HDMI output as well, so you can plug it into your modern television. It's pretty awesome. Sorry, I just sounded old. Your modern day TV. There we go. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. But see, the Sega. Atari's done it twice now since. The newest thing they've done was the Jaguar, and it didn't really. It didn't really do that great. It did all right, but it didn't really do that great. And a lot of Atari fans don't even like the Atari Jaguar. Because it wasn't that popular. But then since then they've done the Atari VCS, and then the newer version of Atari 2600, Atari 2600 Plus. So if they can do it twice, surely Sega can do it at least once. And hopefully if Sega can do that, then hopefully they can make enough money off of it that they can, do a future, like a future release as well. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be cool. Even if they come out with another Genesis, that would play Genesis games, but also play new games. Also be able to produce new games for it, and then make enough money off of that to come out with an all new, brand new console. You know what I mean? Just saying. It's possible. I would love to see Sega come back in the market for sure. I would love to have seen Atari come back. They kind of have, but Atari's kind of playing a little safe on this, and I'm pretty sure it's because they're trying to get enough money to boom Atari disc-based system for the first time, an Atari disc-based system. You know what I mean? Just boom out of nowhere. When no one's expecting it. After Sony's come out with their PlayStation 6 and Xbox has come out with whatever they're going to call their next console, and Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever they're going to call that one. Then boom, Atari, boom, comes out with maybe not as powerful as any of the consoles, but something new, you know what I mean? That might take off, who knows, I don't know. But I would like to see them come out with an Atari that maybe even has the same games as the original Atari 2600, but modernized. I think that would be awesome. Like, you know, maybe the basketball games won't be square balls bouncing around. You know what I mean? But modern day versions of them or something. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of things they can do for sure, and I'm guaranteed they could get fan funded for it. Like, guaranteed. Ghostbuster stuff's been doing that for a while now. Got the Proton Pack here. Got the 2 in the box. That's coming out soon. It got fan funded in no time at all, with days to spare. I'm sure a big name like Sony could do it. I'm just saying, you know. That would be awesome. I mean, anybody that's a fan of retro games or games in general would love the idea if that could happen. You know what I mean? True gamers would love that idea because, like I said, the more game consoles, the more different variants of game consoles, the more companies that make game consoles, the better. Because you got more options, first of all. Second of all, you got competition. You know, you try to explain this to fanboys all the time, and it never works. Like, because they don't see the bigger picture. Like, okay, say you like Sony, which I tend to lean towards Sony more than Xbox. I'm not saying Xbox is stupid. I'm not saying they're not good. But I tend to lean more toward the PlayStation. It's because they have the games that I like more, it seems like. But I don't want to see any of the other consoles go out, companies. Because if Sony was left by themselves, it would be horrible. Like, okay, we can just lay back and relax now. Because if you want a home game console, you got to get it from us. There is no others. You know what I mean? And they would just get so complacent with that. They would just take advantage of that, and they would, just come out with crap or nothing at all, for that matter. And just come out with whatever they want to come out with. And if you wanted to buy a game console for your home, that's what you'd have to buy. So you wouldn't worry about, we need to be better than Xbox, or we need to be better than Nintendo, or at least compete with them. I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying that you wouldn't have anybody to compete with. So if you didn't have anybody to compete with, then what's their incentive to do better, And people don't realize that. Some people don't realize that. They're like, oh, just get rid of this console or get rid of that console. No. That's not a good thing, ever. That's with everything. It doesn't have to be game consoles. It could be anything. Convenience stores, whatever. It doesn't matter. Gas stations, whatever. You want as many as possible, And that's why I love seeing a lot of retro game stores popping up. Like I mentioned before, Cartridges Galore. Great place. If there's a Cartridges Galore anywhere near you, I'd highly recommend going there. They always have some awesome stuff. Just remember, when you go in there, all the stuff on the top racks that look really neat and really old and really expensive, they're not for sale. How many people go in there and be like, how much is that up there? And sorry sir, that's not for sale. Or it might just be a box, And of course one was a freaking Rob the Robot. I've been looking for a Rob the Robot for, God, I don't even know how long, but I don't even care if it's just a robot that doesn't function. I don't care. I just want to rob the robot. Just the robot. That's all I want. That thing is expensive as hell. And I don't even know why. Did it function properly and was it good? Yeah. Unlike the Power Glove or the Virtual Boy. A lot of people would knock the Virtual Boy. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but the Power Glove was horrible. Let's just put it that way. It's cool to collect. It's cool to look at. Oh, you got a Power Glove? Yeah. But to actually use it, don't recommend it unless you want to be tortured. If you like being tortured, then by all means, get a Power Glove and play it, because it is freaking horrible. And there's nothing wrong with mine. It fully functions. It's horrible. It's like one of the first, if not the first, motion sensitive stuff, and it doesn't work well at all. But it's awesome. It's worth a lot of money. So is the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy, people were saying, oh, it makes you sick, get vertigo. That depends on the person. Like, no one's the same. I don't care if you're identical twins and come out 2 minutes apart from each other. You're not identical. You're really not. You might look identical, but you sure as hell don't act identical, and you don't have the same, you know, might not have the same beliefs, you might not have the same interests or anything, you know. But I've never had a problem with it. I've tried it at least half a dozen times just to play. I have Mario Tennis is the only game I have for it, and it's not horrible. I mean, sure, if you compare it to, you know, the Oculus Rift or even the PlayStation VR, I mean, you're an idiot if you compare it to that. First of all, second of all, you can't do that. Like, how many generations ahead of the game is the PlayStation and stuff? You know, you can't do that. Like, it's just dumb. You know what I mean? To do that. So when you knock that off of it, because you can't compare it to that. I mean, you just can't. It's like comparing a horse and buggy to a vehicle, to a Volkswagen. You know what I mean? You can't compare that shit because it's not the same. I mean, it just doesn't work. But anyway, the Virtual Boy, it's all right. I wish I had more games for it. I really do. But it's an all right console. I believe it's all right. Is it great? No, but it's just the way old consoles are. They're not meant to be great. They were great in their time. They're state of the art, ahead of their time consoles. But everything gets old. I mean, look at this face. I mean, see what I'm saying? Everything gets old. Everything has an expiration. Everything gets beat out by something else. You know, it's just the way it works. You buy a damn phone in 6 months, guess what? Maybe not even 6 months. It's obsolete. Come out with another one. Does your phone still function properly and still great phone? Yeah. There's just a newer one out, you know. So, I mean, it's just the way everything else works. But don't take someone's full opinion about something. About games or movies or anything, because you might like it and they don't. It's just, you know, the way it works, you know. You can't get someone else's opinion because they have different opinions, you know what I mean? Not sure if you have a friend that likes the same type of movies as you do, and, you know, maybe you should take their opinion a little more, but still, watch it or play that game for yourself to determine whether you like it or not, you know. I used to get asked all the time, and I actually have a video about it, but it's been so long, it's been 12 years at least. I did a video, maybe even further back than that, at least 12 years probably. People asking me, you know, which console should I buy? Should I buy a PlayStation or an Xbox? And I can't answer that for you, because only you know what you should buy. You got to do your research on it. You really do. You really got to go, you know, and only look at the exclusive titles, because there's a lot of titles that are for both consoles. You can't look at those games because you can play them on either console. It doesn't really matter which one you buy at that point. Look at the exclusive titles. Do you like Halo? If you like Halo, you gotta buy Xbox. Just the way it is. Do you like God of War? If you like God of War, you gotta buy PlayStation. Just the way it works. You know, unless, you know, there's some loopholes that are similar. You know, if you only have an Xbox and you want to play God of War, then get Dante's Inferno. It's basically God of War. I mean, so I mean, but that's what you got to look at. You can't look at it someone else's opinion. If they have only an Xbox, they're probably going to tell you an Xbox. If they only have PlayStation, you see what I'm saying? What's going to happen probably? You just got to do your research for yourself. Look at them exclusive titles. Just type in exclusive titles only to Xbox, exclusive titles only to PlayStation, and then make your decision that way, because both consoles are relatively the same thing. I mean, they're relatively the same powerful console. I mean, as far as powerfulness goes, they're both pretty equal. So, your co-host Slimer agrees. Yep, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, got some slime. Anyway, but yeah, it just, you just can't ask people that. You got to do it yourself. You got to figure out, what you like yourself. So, but that I still remember. I still remember this. I can't remember exactly what the dude's name was, but it was hilarious. It was like 10 reasons why the PS3 is gay. I don't even know how. Is PS3 happy? I don't think it could show emotion, but they don't even know what that word means apparently. But because it doesn't mean homosexual, it just means you're happy. But I mean, that shows you the level of their intelligence, to start with. But I'm not going to go through all of the reasons because, frankly, to tell you the truth, I can't remember exactly all of them. But the first one I liked is the letters. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. This is the original OG dusty ass. Well, I mean, it's not supposed to be dusty. This is the original OG PS3 right here. The backwards compatible OG PS3 right here. Or PlayStation 3. And as you can tell, the guys like the letters on there are strictly copied from Spider-Man. The font on there is strictly copied from Spider-Man. And the guy's like, let me let you in on a little secret. That is the font of Spider-Man, yeah. But let me let you in on a little secret. Sony now owns Spider-Man. They've owned Spider-Man for years, alright? Before the PlayStation 3 was even built, I'm pretty sure. So they have the rights to do whatever they want. They could put a face of Spider-Man on there if they want to, because they own it. It's not a good argument. Like, they own Spider-Man, so they can do whatever the hell they want. They can put Spider-Man's font on there all they want. So try again. You know what I'm saying? Well, then they said, I think one of the other ones was it's freakishly huge, and it's not that big. It's not that huge. And I just knocked the iron bar off of my pack. But yeah, it was a pretty funny video. Let's put it that way. And then one of the arguments for the PS3 is that doesn't have a disc tray. Why would you want a disc tray when you have the technology to take a disc in without a disc tray? I mean, they've had that technology in CD players in your car for years. I don't know how they didn't think to come out with it for game consoles sooner than they did do. But I'll never know. But they just decided to go with disc trays for some reason, which, if I remember, PlayStation never had a disc tray, did they? No. PlayStation never had a disc tray that I can think of. Let me think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but no. No, they did have a PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 had a disc tray. That was the only one. But yeah, the PlayStation 2. Sorry. PlayStation 2 had a disc tray. That was the only PlayStation with a disc tray. Because even the slimmer version just had a pop, which I wasn't a fan of. The pop open top on the PlayStation 2 Slim version. The OG PlayStation 2 had a disc tray. Other than that, no. So, the Xbox had a disc tray up until the 360 version. 360, but all the versions of 360 had it. Then when they come out with the Xbox One, they didn't have disc tray. But so yeah, the PlayStation got rid of them a lot sooner, but Xbox decided, we're just going to go with disc tray, and we're going to go with AA batteries like it's 1985, which is fine. I get the the advantages of doing that. I do, because your batteries die, you just pop them out, and pop 2 new fresh AA batteries in there, and you're good to go again. You don't have to plug your controller in and charge it up. You don't have to worry about that battery dying in there eventually, because eventually it's going to die, because batteries only charge so many times. And then you have to tear the thing apart and replace the battery, which isn't that difficult, but still a lot more difficult than just popping batteries out of it and putting them back in. So I do understand the advantages of that. So you can't really knock it. I mean, you can't, because, well, for one thing, you can get battery packs for your Xbox controllers and charge them up just like you do the PlayStation. So, I mean, it's not that big a deal. But fanboy would say it is that big a deal. Like, you know, if you're a Sony pony, as Boogie2988 would call you, you would say, oh, this is 1985. This isn't 1985. Put batteries in your controllers. Why are we going to use AA batteries? But there are advantages to it, you know. So you can even use rechargeable batteries if you want to. And just recharge them on something and keep flopping them, you know. Get 2 sets of them and just rotate them. It's not that big a deal. But that's stuff that, like, fanboys would say, you know. They nitpick every little thing. Like, the Xbox's graphics chip is just slightly better than the Xbox. Are you going to notice a difference in that on the screen? Probably not. Your eyes aren't that good. Face it. You're not going to notice the difference. Sorry. It's not possible. So, you know, the PlayStation might be just a couple seconds faster than the Xbox loading. Are you going to really notice that difference? Unless you have both consoles there with the same games, which, why would you have that? Starting up at the same time, you're not going to know which one started up faster. And if it's only a 2-second difference, who cares which one started up faster? I mean, it's people that like to make arguments. That's their cup of tea. That's what they do all day long. It's just find arguments to argue about. And when there is no arguments, they make up arguments. You know, the sky's not the right shade of blue, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go over to 2 hours here, and I'm going to jump off. It's definitely a pleasure talking to everybody. I'm so glad that so many people showed up. Anytime I do live streams like this, I'm not confident enough, I guess is the word, that I'm going to get too many people in here. And a lot of people might say, oh, you only got 4 or 5. I don't care. I mean, 4 or 5 people. Right now there's only 3 in here. To me, it's quality over quantity. If I get 3 people in here that want to talk about stuff, then I'm happy. I never expect this. I mean, sure, if my subscribers go up, that's great. Especially, you know, if they keep going up to where I can do giveaways and stuff. That's great. You know, I like to see my channel grow. Don't get me wrong. But I do it more for fun, you know. It's just, I like talking to people. You know, especially people that have my same interest, the stuff you see behind me. If you collect that stuff and you just happen to click on this video and you just happen to have gotten this far, first of all, thank you for watching. Second of all, maybe think about subscribing. I don't say that very often because I'm not the kind of person like you need to subscribe now. You know, I'm not that person. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to give you this information, but before I give you this information, subscribe. No, because how do I know that information you're going to give me is even worth my time? And I might just have to unsubscribe. So let me watch your channel first, see if I like your channel, and then I'll subscribe. I mean, doesn't that make sense, right? I mean, but if my subscribers slowly go up, and every time I get on here, there's 4 or 5 people, and we have a good discussion, I'm happy. That's great. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Because I just have fun doing it. I love talking to people, hearing people's stories, telling people my stories. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm here for. And I'm definitely going to get back into the retro gaming aspect of it. I think what I might do is switch to the bigger TV with HDMI and do it that way a couple times, because it does show up better on that. As long as it's an HDMI input, though, because the old CRT does better as far as these consoles behind me. Hooking them up to a CRT is better. I don't care what anybody tells you. Like a Nintendo, it can be adapted somehow, I'm sure, with the right converter to an HDMI, but it just won't look right. Like, it just looks better on the TVs that it was meant to be on. You know, it knows what to do with the signal, and it does it better. Sorry. Subscribers went up. Yay. Hell yeah, that's great. Like I said, if I could get on here and subscribers go up by two subscribers, one subscriber, then great. You know, that's all I'm here for, is to talk to people. Even if my subscribers stop going up and the same people come in and talk about different topics, that's a win for me, because I love doing it. You know, I love talking to people about consoles and, you know, collectibles and wrestling and all kinds of stuff. You know, and what better way to do it over something like this? Talk to people anywhere. Like, as long as they have an internet connection and can see my stream, they can talk to me. Doesn't matter where they're at in the world, as long as they can speak English, of course. Okay, I don't do any other languages, but I mean, it's just a great platform. Like, I definitely want to get into doing it with my PC. I got a gaming PC, as you saw just a minute ago, or yeah, just a little while ago. And it's more than capable of doing it. I'm just lazy. I'll be honest with you. I just got to figure out exactly how to do it. I'm sure it's not that difficult, but my PC already has two HDMI's on the back of it, and one of them is definitely not an output, because when I plugged it in before, it just would not output until I plugged it into the other HDMI. So I'm thinking it might be an input. So it might already have like a video card built into it. So I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Hopefully, I start having my whole weekends off, so I can actually start doing stuff and maybe figure shit like that out. You know, but you know how that works. Never happens sometimes, but I mean, it didn't make any sense, but it doesn't always happen that way. Things don't always happen the way you want them to, but I mean, I'm grateful to have the overtime, but at the same time, it's exhausting. You know what I mean? It's just. But anyway, like I said, 2 hours coming up. Definitely jump off. I appreciate everybody always coming out and supporting the channel. Make sure after this video has been uploaded, there will be links in the description below. And again, 700 subscribers. Got a good ways to go on that. But 700 subscribers are going to be doing another giveaway. So be watching out for that. Like I said, all you need to do is be subscribed to participate. And when I do the giveaway, you can jump in and say you want to play. Boom. That's all you need to do. And for anybody that's new, that might not know exactly what I do, I got WWE 2K24 now. And basically what I do is, I jump into the game. You guys tell me, guys and gals, tell me if you want to play. Put your name down. You can pick your wrestler. Computer versus computer. I don't play any of the games. It's computer versus computer. And there's a tournament, and then whoever wins the tournament wins the card. Usually it's a PSN card. So, but I want to switch it up a little bit and do like an Xbox card or a Nintendo card, or maybe even just like a prepaid Visa. What in the world was that? Or maybe just like a prepaid Visa card, like one of those rechargeable cards. Anything, something like that. But probably not, because then I have to mail that to you. Normally, what I do is something I can give you a code on over an email or some sort of message. That way, it's instant gratification. You just go into your console of choice, type in that code, and you've got it. I don't have to send it to you. I don't have to pay to ship it to you. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 days to get it. Everybody wins, you know what I mean? So, keep that in mind. 700 subscribers, but keeping a watch out for that. And, yeah, be doing a giveaway. So, again, like I said, I'm going to start some retro gaming streams back up. I got a couple ideas for different types of videos I can do. So I'm going to keep them in the forefront of my mind and determine if or which ones I want to do, if I'm going to do any of them at all. I'm always trying to think of different ideas for doing different things. If anybody has any ideas, it would be gratefully appreciated. Put it in the comment section below. Along with, if anybody see currently, right now, if you've made it this far in the video, again, thank you for spending 2 hours watching it, or maybe you just jumped in, who cares? You see anything behind me that you may know of and want to know more of, or don't know what it is and want to know about it, again, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will definitely do a video on it, whether it's a live stream or just a recorded stream to be uploaded. I'll definitely do a video on it. Also, what people like, they might, that's clearly Nintendo. I mean, everybody knows that. They knows anything about Nintendos and stuff. So that's no mystery. But how did I obtain it? For instance, a really good story, I'll give you one real quick before I jump off, is, as you can see that up above the top shelf, there's a 32X right there in box. I paid $0 for that. Absolutely $0. It's like mint condition inside. The box is almost mint. The box is nice. It's a nice box. Condition box. And the 32X inside of it is like brand new. Some of the cords are even still in their plastic. Hasn't even been opened yet. So yeah. And I got that for absolutely $0. Like, because the story goes real quick, I'll tell you. My mom, she worked in apartments, and when someone would move out, they'd give them 30 days to move their stuff out. Well, this guy even notified them, and they gave them another 30 days. So they had 60 days to get his stuff out. 60 days came. There was a bunch of stuff in there, and it had to go. So my mom got a hold of me and said, Mom, I'm going to come look at this stuff. I saw that box. I was like, there's no way that's in there. Open it up, and it is beautiful in there. Everything is in there. Every single thing come with it in brand new condition. It is great, crazy. Like, yep, definitely have to take that. And I also found another Genesis like that, second generation Genesis, in box like that. It didn't have the sleeve in it, but I give it to my good buddy Transaran 38, also known as Smokescreen 38, here on YouTube. Make sure you check out, his link will be in the description below as one of them. But yeah, so stories like that. People like hearing stories like that. I know I do. So, but yeah. Again, thanks so much for watching, everyone. All the viewers, even though I don't have a lot, make all this possible. If it wasn't for everybody watching, then I wouldn't have nothing to do. I wouldn't be able to do this because it would be pointless. So, yeah, I just like hearing stories like that, and true stories are always the best stories, right? So, but yeah, take care, everybody. Thank you again for all your support, and until next time, I'll meet you right back here in the Oasis.